Alright everybody, welcome back. This is AWBrawler for East Range, and I'm just doing a little bit of Midna gameplay here because why not? Who doesn't like Midna? I mean, she's a little imp gremlin thing that from the Twilight realm. But I'm not gonna so much focus on the actual gameplay with Midna here. I just want to talk a little bit about Hyrule Warriors. Now, the last of the Season Pass DLC, or whatever you want to call it, has came and gone. But it makes me wonder, is that really it? Is that really all? I mean, there's already been recent news reports that Nintendo was going to be releasing more DLC for Mario Kart and more for Smash Bros. So what about Hyrule Warriors? I mean, there's still dozens of Zelda games they have not even touched on yet. Like when I first heard Hyrule Warriors, I got a lot of crazy ideas in my head and a lot of characters that I thought they could use. They used most of them. They did use Darunia, they did use Rudo, they did use Impa and Sheik and Zelda, and a couple of villains like Ganon and Girahim. I really wanted Girahim to be in. Zant, I didn't really care about too much. This Twilight Princess, everyone knows, is not exactly my favorite Zelda game. But I was hoping they would get characters from more of the portable games like Link's Awakening and Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. I want to play as Din, Pharaoh, and Nature, Triforce Genesis, if anything. Or I want to play, well, they do have a great fairy on there, so there's that. But I did want to play as Maple the Witch. A lot of people will probably like, who the heck is Maple? But there's like so many characters. They could have let us play actually play as Twin Rover. They could have let us play as Maple the Witch. They could have let us play as Ricky the Kangaroo, which is an actual Zelda character. He is a dang kangaroo. And I forget the bear name. It's a blue bear who has like little white wings on his back. You could play as Onyx, the main villain from Oracle of Ages, or was it Oracle of Seasons? There's like a lot of characters that I feel like could have been playable. And then there's the characters they created for the game, like Sia has a backstory. But what's up with Wizrow and Volga? Everyone say Volga is like the humanoid form of Volvogia, the dragon from Death Mountain. Yeah, dragon from Death Mountain, where you fight the dragon in Death Mountain on Ocarina of Time to save the world. Yeah, pretty much dies in the process. But I feel like Volga needed a backstory. They could have done something for a backstory to explain what he does wrong. Wizrow. If I had to guess who Wizrow was, I would say he is supposed to be the headless guy in the market on Ocarina of Time. The headless guy who collects the foes for you. That's the only connection I can see to give him. But I don't know. There's just a lot more Zelda characters. Like even from Twilight Princess alone, there were the people that were fighting alongside Link that they could have put in the game. I can't remember all of their names. I just remember one of them had glasses on. One of them's name was, it wasn't Aisha, but this person was like Ashe or something like that. It was the guy who had the rocket launcher. Who wouldn't want to play with a guy who has a rocket launcher? Or if they don't want to use Zelda characters with Mario Kart doing crossovers and spin-offs and everything, why not throw in some Smash Bros. Characters? The characters that fit. I'm not saying throw Mario and Captain Falcon in, because that wouldn't really fit the Hyrule Warriors vibe. But hey, they have Amiibo. They have Amiibo support. Why not do Amiibo support for someone like Showa, or Mark, or Ike? I'd like to get in there with Shoka, show them the Monato's power. I just think these are some ideas that they could and probably still will use. I don't think it's too late to implement these ideas. I mean, we've seen how Mario Kart had no Amiibo support whatsoever, but it was put in with an update. So there could possibly still be an update where they can add in more Amiibo support for Hyrule Warriors. Right now, the Amiibo support of Hyrule Warriors is well, it's weak to say the least. You just scan 5 Amiibos per day, and you may get a good weapon, or you may get crap like a rock or 1 rupee. Not the best usage of the Amiibos. I mean, speaking of the Amiibos in general, when exactly are they gonna stop beating around the bush and go ahead and give us a Skylanders, Disney Infinity type of amiibo game. Like, imagine how awesome it would be if they had like a Mario Maker type game, but in a full 3D world, and you use the amiibos as your characters. Like, you create this full blown 3D world, kind of like you do with Disney Infinity, and you just drop the amiibos in there. So you get to run around as Kirby, Pikachu, Mario, Donkey Kong, Fox, Ike, Shulk, Ganon, Sonic, Pac-Man, Pikmin, or whoever. You just create your own world. I'm just waiting for them to do it. I think the main reason they don't want to do that is we all know Nintendo's thing. They don't want to be seen as a copy. They don't want to look like they're copying someone else's idea. They want to have their own idea. So I guess the main thing that they're looking at is, okay, if we do this, people are going to say, oh, they're copying Disney Infinity. Or if we do this, they're going to say, oh, we're copying Skyland. Okay, they might say that. They might. But at the end of the day, does it really matter? Who cares? A good idea is a good idea. And technically, if you want to be technical about it, Pokemon Rumble came before all these NFC games. And in the game, you bought toy Pokemon to battle on the field of Pokemon Rumble. It's just at the time, I guess no one knew how to do the NFC technology for the toy, but the idea was there. I mean, even with Smash Bros. Mainly opening info, you see what is basically a Mario amiibo before amiibos even exist on Smash Bros. Melee, and then you see a Link amiibo, and they come to life and fight, and then the opening sequence. So the amiibo thing is an idea they've been thinking about for a while. I guess it took Activision and Disney and whoever else to do it first, for them to be like, oh, that's how we do this. That's how we can make this work. Or they probably already had technology to do it, but again, this is Nintendo. And they probably were like, well, our fans probably aren't going to want to buy every character for the game. Which, again, on paper, it sounds ridiculous to have to buy every single character to play as them on the game. But look at Disney Infinity. There's people who literally have collections of over 100 different Disney Infinity characters, over 100 different Skylanders, and they buy those. Especially with Skylanders, you have to have. See, Disney Infinity, you can work with just a handful of people. But with Skylanders, you pretty much, yeah, you have to have something. You have to have at least one of each type if you want to get the full effect of the whole game. So I know people who have huge collections of Skylanders. And I guess at the time, it's about people are going to run out and buy these figures to go along with the game. So that's probably one of the main reasons that the amiibos didn't come out sooner. But, you know, now they see that a lot of games will actually go out and buy all kind of peripherals and games, which should have been obvious when people started seeing stuff like Battlefield, Grand Theft Auto, and whatever else selling on the PC version for over $100 for just one game with all the bells and whistles. That's a bit crazy to me. I don't want to pay over 100 for any game, no matter how many bells and whistles they have. I wouldn't even pay over 100 for something for Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm already hyped for that game. I love it. So that's probably why they did not go on that. But that's enough of ranting about that. I want them to focus on it themselves. Now, as we know, the 30th year anniversary of Zelda is next year. Unless you're already watching this a year late, I guess it would be now, but as of this recording, it's next year. So it begs the question, what are they going to do with the new Zelda? Are they going to try to add in a little bit of Easter eggs and things to harken back to the older Zeldas? Like, will the Happy Mask salesman be in Zelda U? Will Daronia be in there? Will there be Goruns in this world at all? Because I don't even know where the new Zelda takes place. It's hard to determine exactly where it takes place. If I had to guess, going off of the Hyrule Historia timeline, I would say it's sometime after Wind Waker. It's just something about the shirt that Link was wearing on the E3 demo that makes me think Wind Waker. This is Wind Waker. He has it's kind of a Wind Waker type design to his outfit. The horse that he rides on. I remember when I was in a group discussion with Triforce and the others, and we were talking about the horse, and I was the first person to point it out. this can't be Epona, not the same Epona from the other games, because this one has black hair. So what's the only Zelda game where the characters were reincarnated in different forms? Well, that is Wind Waker. So it would have to be after Wind Waker, I would say, because Zelda came back as a pirate named Tetra. Link was reincarnated as some kid on the island who had a grandmother and a sister. Yeah, after the first time actually gave him a family. No, well, he had an uncle and mother. I don't know which one that was though. But that was like one of the first times they actually gave Link family and a backstory. So I'm like, okay. So seeing that there's reincarnations and people look different, because Tetra look completely different. This horse has a black mane. Possibly either it's not Epona at all, or I mean, the spirit of the hero of time, spirit of travels of power, and spirit of travels of wisdom transfers through generations and timelines. What's to say the horse doesn't? So maybe Epona's spirit is inside this new horse with the black mane. So that's another reason why I think it takes place after Wind Waker. That's just what fits perfectly. It has to be. Either it's after Wind Waker, or it's directly after Skyward Sword. Like the first Zelda that takes place right after Skyward Sword. Because I didn't really see a Hylian shield anywhere on any of the gameplay they did, even when they did the Game Awards. They did not do, they didn't show any Hyrule shield. They didn't show what looked like a Master Sword. They mostly focused on the fact that he has a bow and arrow. So I'm like, is this Zelda game gonna be more focused on archery and maybe his gadgets and bombs and other weapons, and less so on swashbuckling and the sword? So I'm thinking this one is gonna be a lot more focused on his other weapons, because we haven't seen one video, not a single video yet, where Link swings a sword and hits him. It's always the bow and arrow, the bow and arrow, the bow and arrow. Unless I missed something with the video that they did with the Game Awards, I don't recall him swinging a sword, though I know he has one. So it kind of makes me wonder, will this game do something truly different for the Zelda series? Like, will this game make you start off without a sword and you go maybe a whole dungeon without the sword? Just use bow and arrow, other gadgets. I mean, the only problem with that is you eventually run out of ammo. You run out of arrows to shoot, and then it'd be kind of awkward to run out of arrows. What do you do then? Push over boulders and crush enemies? Kick them? I mean, Link isn't really known for hand-to-hand combat, but if they did give him that, I guess that would be pretty awesome. But I don't think they're not gonna go that route with it. But it would be cool to do something like that, where you go through the first dungeon with basically all your other gadgets, and maybe they give you more than enough so you can't run out. And if you do run out, there's some kind of way to run back and knock over some pot and get replenishments of your bombs and arrows, boomerang, or whatever you first start off with. But I do have reason to believe that you will go a good while before you get the sword. We have too many videos where he does not have a sword on him. And that intrigues me a lot. Maybe, I mean, then again, maybe it's just the early build and they're going to show off other parts of the game, but the fact that they have a Zelda game and you do not see Link's sword anywhere, come on, more than me have to see that and think, this is different. And with Nintendo doing a lot of different things this gen, like the Shin Megami Tensei Fire Emblem, that's pretty different for them. Bayonetta, Devil's Third. I mean, with them doing all these different things, heck, Splatoon is different for them. That is the most online focused game that they will probably ever make in everything. So I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility that there will be a lot of gameplay where you don't need the sword at all, or you don't use the sword. There's just some ideas of what I think they're gonna do with the new Zelda. As for story and character, that's up for anyone. There's no point even trying to speculate what you think the story or what characters are going to be in there at this point, because you'll end up just looking and sounding pretty stupid trying to do that. All I could say is that I'm hoping that it's a story that's a little unconventional for a Zelda game. I don't know, if I have to have characters I'd like to see return, I would like to see the Gorons, because Link pretty much killed the Gorons without knowing it on Ocarina of Time. Because on Wind Waker there were no Gorons except for the one guy who I think he's selling you a map or something. He has a big lampshade type of hat covering his face. He's the only Goron on the game. Because most of the Gorons died out. And I say Link killed them off because, well, we've only ever seen male Gorons. So it's safe to assume that they're asexual creatures that repopulate by some other means. Maybe the Fire Stone that Link took is what they used to repopulate. We do know that the Gorons are formed from rocks or some kind of way. Maybe they used the Fire Stone on rocks to make more Gorons. But Link took that Fire Stone and he put it back. He put it back in the Hall of Time. Whatever the place is he went to go and change from an adult to a kid all over there. The Fire Stone is there. So the Gorons had no means to the magic that repopulated them. And that's why even on Twilight Princess, you know, there was less and less Gorons out there. So I think it's safe to assume that by taking the Fire Stone from them, Link may have accidentally killed off the Gorons. So I would like to see the Gorons because it's such the Zora people. I like to see the Zoras on this game. I like to see the Zora people, the Gorons, and there is something else that I am missing. The Zoras, well, the Rudo Postmen are what the Zora people eventually became. Because on Wind Waker, it's one of the Zora people. The only Zora person on the game, I think it was Naruto or something. She talks to the Rudo Postman girl. So I think the Zoras became the bird people, and the Gorons are just very rare. There's a few of them that still survive. So I definitely want to see the Zoras and the Gorons. I would like to see some kind of, I mean, maybe because I'm playing Majora's Mask for the first time all the way through now, but I'd like to see something akin to the mask system in Majora's Mask. I'm not saying give him mask again so he transforms to different things, but something like that that switches up the gameplay completely. Like, depending on what mask you have on, the whole game feels different. And Link is actually throwing punches and kicks when he's a Goron, so maybe it would be interesting to see Link do hand-to-hand combat without a sword. Maybe that would be pretty cool. Maybe that's something they will do, since it seems like they got inspiration from, like, Skyrim and other games. Or maybe, just maybe, they'll have Link with a tiny little dagger on him, so until you get a sword, if you run out of bow and arrows, you pull out your dagger and you just fight with it. But again, that's a bit far-fetched. I don't really see that happening. I do feel like since this is their new thing, they're selling them. I feel like they're gonna put some kind of amiibo support in there somewhere, even if it's just you scan your amiibo to unlock new equipment. Because I do think Link will be able to upgrade his equipment like Skyward Sword. That was a feature that everybody seemed to like, even though some people for whatever reason didn't like Skyward Sword. The ability to upgrade your equipment was a feature that a lot of people did like. So that's something that I think they're gonna bring back, because if you look at the trailer at the end of E3, he pulls out this really high-tech, futuristic-looking arrow, and he shoots it right before it zooms in on his face and it fades off. Now, when you watch the trailer, the off-screen gameplay at the Game Awards, you'll notice that Link also, when he jumps off and does the slow-motion thing, sky sniping, as I call it, they're normal arrows. There's nothing glowing about it, so I do think that either there's going to be a bigger focus on projectile weapons on this game, which I can't really rule out, or they're going to focus more on customization. I mean, look at Xenoblade Chronicles X. I just don't think that Nintendo wants to be outdid by Xenoblade and just let, I don't think they want to be outdid by Xenoblade and let Zelda just kind of be pushed to the back burner. Because right now, as it stands, I'm actually more excited about what Xenoblade has with all the customization, how you can detail every little part of the scales, your armor, and all of that. That's gonna be pretty awesome. So at this point, I mean, I was on a record of saying when people were talking about, oh, Zelda's delayed, I was one of the people on the record of saying, so? Because we'll get it next year. I know Zelda's coming, so I know it's coming, and I know it's gonna be good. But I mean, I'm at the point now where I'm like, where they're like, okay, what's the Wii U gonna do without Zelda? And I'm like, okay. I'm at the point where I'm like, well, Zelda has to show me something. I know it's Zelda, I know it's good, but it has to show me something. It has to show me that it will give me a reason to turn off Splatoon or a reason to turn off Xenoblade Chronicles. Right now, those are the two Wii U games I'm the most hyped for. And I haven't really seen enough on this Zelda to be as hyped as other people are about this. So I'm like, okay, they have to show me what they can do. Show me what you can do with this new Zelda. Show me something that you think will pull me away from Splatoon. It will pull me away from Xenoblade Chronicles. Because as it stands, I see most of my time going to Xenoblade and Splatoon because they have all the customization that I like. See, customization is the new thing that they're doing, so I do feel like that there will be customizable weapons in them. And if it's not, it'll be a huge missed opportunity. And I feel like that even some of the reviewers might take that out on them and complain about the lack of weapons or the lack of customization. I mean, you have people that were complaining about Dark Souls having one shield in the game. I don't know how true that is. I did not play it. I want to play it, but that's what they were saying. So I do think they're probably going to complain if you don't have different weapons and customizations in the new Zelda. I mean, who knows? Maybe this will be the first Zelda game you can customize your whole outfit, which would kind of ruin it for some people because they're used to him wearing the green and the floppy hat. But who knows? Maybe they'll give you an option to change that so you can make him wear whatever you want. So, I mean, that's pretty much my ideas of what they could do with Zelda. Maybe bring back Twilight Midna. She did drop hints that she'd be back, but I don't know. Like, we don't even know the subtitle for this one yet. It's just Legend of Zelda 4 Wii U. Maybe when they reveal what the subtitle for this one is, people can draw a little bit more broad conclusions. The subtitle in the name usually gives some kind of hint to what they're doing with this one. Like Skyward Sword, okay, they were in the sky doing stuff. Ocarina of Time, time travel. Twilight Princess, there is the Twilight Realm. Wind Waker, that was the name of the dang item you used to control the wind. But we don't know anything because there's no subtitle. It's just Legend of Zelda 4 Wii U. So all we've seen is just little snippets of gameplay. So this is the first time they did a Zelda game like this. Well, no, second. The Skyward Sword they revealed like this. But usually they revealed story first and then show gameplay. But now they're showing little snippets of gameplay. So I guess at next year's E3, since it's supposedly not at this E3, we'll see a little bit more. So yeah, until next time, this is AWBrawler. Each game saying, be you, be true, be human. Also, if you like what you've seen in the video and you want more, just hit the like button at the bottom and subscribe. Also, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and the newest social networks too. Until next time.